Hello, EFR students. Today we're going to talk about the analysis for the paper that we're doing, and the example paper we have up is a model of outreach to increase female enrollment in technical education. So this is an example manuscript. There's no specific length for this, so your paper doesn't necessarily have to be this long. So what you should have on the front page is the title, your name, and if your institution is the University of North Dakota, go ahead and put that. On the second page, you should have an abstract, and that should include what was studied, how was it studied, what were the findings. So when you turn in your paper, don't have these headings here. Okay, remove those, as I say, remove those. But really your abstract should contain those. APA, less than 250 words-ish. You can have some keywords, and at the beginning of your manuscript, you repeat the title, and then in your introduction, you should have what's known, what is unknown, what's the critical need, or why is it important to know this? Okay, you should have that. And then what you're going to do about it to find the unknown, meaning how you're going to address that issue. Then you should have a literature review, forestry trees, kind of motivate the study, give us necessary background. In this case, underrepresented women in the STEM careers, strategies for recruiting girls into STEM careers, and strategy for building confidence. Now, this is a sample paper, so this isn't the key point in this class, but you should have some kind of literature review, and I've asked you for a minimum of 3 references. So your lit review might be 1 page for this assignment because again, this is about the analysis being incorporated into an argument. I'm not too concerned about the lit in an actual manuscript. You'd have to pay a lot more attention to that. You should have the purpose of the study. You can list a research question. Ideally, you have the purpose of the study is, my research question is, I hypothesize that, and the rationale for this hypothesis is such, based off your framework. But in a simple manuscript like this, it might just be enough to say the purpose of the study. Then we want our method section. So we need to know our participants. This is dealing with external validity. Tell me how you sampled them, where you sampled them from. The instrument, I've asked you to use a 1 through 6 Likert type scale in this instrument. Here's a definition of it. You can actually just use this definition right here to describe what you did, and it has some form of agreement, some form of disagreement. Should have an analysis or design, can be either one. Tell me the independent and dependent variables of your study. Procedure, what did you do? How did you give the survey out? What was the intervention? So just tell me what that is. Tell me the results. So we had a research question, and the first thing in the results we define here is the percent of some form of agreement, and some form of agreement right here, percent of some form of agreement. This is summing the somewhat agree, and strongly agree values. Here's the mean. Here's the standard deviation, standard deviations. And this is confidence in science, ability to succeed, coming off our survey. So the survey for the study looked like this. It was just a 7-item survey. Our research question here was a career in STEM could give me the lifestyle I want, yes, no, and it was coded 2 and 1. And then the Likert type questions down here, please rate each of the questions, and they rated them. When I did that, that got me the data. I put my data into SPSS, and this is what it looked like in SPSS. Right here, question 1 through 7. So going back to the manuscript then, I'm gonna show you how to do this. But then we also had this table here where we had the Cronbach alphas here, measure of internal consistency, and the correlation. And then we went on to do a t-test with our main research question. Okay, so this video is about how we did that and how we did the analysis for this study. So let's start with this table right here, table 1. So I'm going to take that table. I'm going to go into SPSS, and to run that analysis, I'm going to go analyze descriptives and frequencies. Let me do that one more time. I'm going to go analyze descriptive statistics and frequencies. Okay, in that, here's my questions, and it's fine. I'm just going to bump them all over. So I'm going to click on the top one. I'm going to hold down the Shift key, click on question 7, and bump them over into variables. Now I'm going to do a couple things here as well. I'm going to say statistics, and I'm going to ask for the mean and the standard deviation. I'll say continue. Then I'm going to go format as well, and I'm going to ask descending values because I'm interested in the percent of some form of agreement, and those are questions 4, 5, and 6. So I want to sum those in a descending way. So I'm going to say continue, and I'm going to hit OK. Okay, so what that's given me is frequency charts. It's given me the means of each of those questions, and it's given me frequency charts. Now, number one was just how many the career aspects. So to start this table here, I'm going to start with question 2, which dealt with, let me go back to that. Question 2 is, I feel confident in my science class. Okay, so again, to do that, we want the some form of agreement here, and that was 85.7. So we're going to go to question 2 in the output, right here, and we're going to see it has 6, 5, 4, 3, and there's not 2 and 1 because nobody checked that. So again, 4, 5, and 6, if we look back on our instrument, 4, 5, and 6, we're slightly agree, agree, and strongly agree. So what I'd like to do for some form of agreement is sum these items, the 4, 5, and 6. Now it's actually done for us here because we did descending values. We see 5, 6, and 4. So cumulative percentage was 40.5, 78.6, and 85.7. So our some form of agreement sum there was 85.7. So I'm going to come to my table 1, and I need to type in 85.7 right here, and I've already done that. The next thing I want to do is put the mean and the standard deviation for this question number 2. So I can go back to my output, and that was up here when I asked for the mean and standard deviation. So question 2, the mean was 5.05, and the standard deviation was 1.03. So I'm going to round this 5.05 to 5.1 and standard deviation of 1. So I'll come back to the, so I rounded 5.1 was the mean and the standard deviation of 1. So then I just continue that for the rest of the questions, questions 2 through 7, to fill out this table, the first table in the manuscript. Okay, so now we're going to move to the second table. Now here were the constructs, so confidence in science, or C1 was the confidence in science. We see that that was composed of questions 2, 3, and 4. Okay, and I need the reliability, the Cronbach alpha for that. Now we have it as 0.77 here. So I need to go back up into SPSS. I'll come into Analyze, Scale, and Reliability Analysis. Okay, I'm going to do that once more times. I'm going to go Analyze, Scale, Reliability Analysis. Click on that, and I want to do that for the first construct, which was questions 2, 3, and 4 only. So I'm going to click on 2 to 4, and hold that down. I'm going to bump that over, and then I can just say OK. Okay, so we have it down here that the Cronbach alpha for questions, these questions, was 0.772. 0.772. So I'll go back to my manuscript, and I'm going to just round that to two decimals. So it's 0.772. In APA, if a number cannot be larger than 1, and the internal consistency cannot, it doesn't get a 0 in front of it. Okay, so it's just 0.77. Okay, so then I do that for ability to succeed. Why don't we go ahead and do that? That's items 5, 6, and 7. So I need the reliability for those. I'll come on over, and I'm going to go Analyze, Scale, Reliability. I'm going to reset this, and I'm going to bring over 5, 6, and 7. I'm just going to say OK. And the reliability there was Cronbach alpha of 0.817. I see it right down here, 0.817. So go to my paper, and I'm going to round that 0.817 to 0.82, and there it is. Okay, and that takes care of our internal consistency measures. We'd like these between 0.75 and 0.95, so these are both acceptable. We will learn more about that in 516 and 518 about internal consistency. Okay, so the next thing I'd like to do is correlate these two things. So to correlate them, I need to average each of the constructs, each of the items into a construct. Okay, so we have confidence and ability. So let's do confidence first. So I need to average items 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to go ahead and go to SPSS. Okay, so now I need to go and transform compute. Let me do that once more. I need to go transform compute. Now I'm going to create a new variable out of 2, 3, and 4. And I believe that was confidence. Just check that. Yep, confidence. So I'm going to create a new variable called confidence. So I'm going to go back and I'll go ahead and type that right in there. And that's going to be the mean of, so MEAN, open parenthesis, and then I'm going to just bump over. I'm going to click on it, and it's going to show the arrow here. I'm going to bump it up. I need a comma between each one. 2, 3, comma, space, and 4. And then I'm going to close this out. So I'm going to create a new variable, target variable called confidence. It's going to be made up of the mean of Q2, 3, and 4. Okay, so I'll just say OK. That takes me to the output and just says computed this. So I'm going to go ahead and go back to the data set, and there's new confidence, our new variable called confidence, and it's an average of Q2, 3, and 4. Now notice there's a period here for this one. That was a missing value. The computer will just ignore that. Take the average of 3 and 4. So again, when you're entering your data, you have missing values, make sure you put a period in there. Okay, so now we go back to our instrument, and we see our next one was ability. So now we want to create ability, and that was made up of questions 5, 6, and 7. So I'm going to go there. I'm going to go to transform compute. I'm going to reset it down here. I'm going to go reset, and our new variable is ability, and that's the mean of those items, which was Q5, comma, Q6, comma, and Q7. I'm going to close the parenthesis and just hit OK. And likewise, it says compute ability. So if I go to my data set, I see now I have confidence and ability. So what I wanted in the paper, go back to the paper, I want the correlation between those two of confidence and ability. So I'm just going to go back to SPSS. I'm going to go analyze, correlate, bivariate. Let me do that again. I'm going to go analyze, correlate, bivariate. Okay, and we wanted to correlate the two variables we created, which was confidence and ability. I'll bring those over, and we're fine with Pearson here. We have Pearson and Spearman are the two most common. Pearson is parametric, Spearman is non-parametric. I'm going to say OK. And I get my correlation coefficient out here. So we see the Pearson correlation coefficient, and it was 0.689, and it has 2 stars, which means I'm going to test it at 0.05. Type 1 error at 0.05, so I'm just going to give it 1 star, but it's 0.689, so I'm going to round that to 0.69. So if I come back to my manuscript, I'm going to go ahead and round it, and I'd write it right here, 0.69, and I tested it at 0.05, so I give it 1 star, and here's 1 star. So this is, I'm going to stop the video here because this is already a lot. The next thing we're going to be doing is the t-tests down here and discussing that. So this is part 1 of the video for the analysis on the manuscript that we're doing. Okay, thank you.